people who are bad, I don't know, maybe it's a mindset thing, but people who treat other people bad, are they aware of it? She had texted her parents to text mine to text me. I totally understand that she was worried, but also, why do you have to run to your parents for every little thing? I got a lecture from my parents later, even when I already feel awful and apologize to her. This girl who's living with a roommate who's peeing all over the kitchen sink, when she gets a next roommate, she won't be as kind as she is right now. It's the same thing. One person gets to poison the next person for them to poison the next person. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to this one. I don't know, man. I'm just feeling good about this one. I just feel it's a happy Wednesday, and I hope you guys are happy there, keeping things 24 and better than before. If it's not a Wednesday, I hope you're enjoying your day, and yeah, no pressure, no pressure. I'm feeling many things at the same time, man. I think I'm catching a sickness. I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling gracious. I'm feeling grateful for many things. To start this one off, I would like to say that I believe that people have different backgrounds. Like they come from different homes, they are raised in different ways, and that is the truth. I mean, I'm not even gonna provide enough evidence for that, because I know that it's actually the truth. So what happens is, like, these backgrounds, they get to influence what type of person, not what type of person they are, but how they handle themselves around other people, especially indoors. Like when you can be a naughty kid at school, and then when you come back home, you're like, oh man, my manners are here and I have manners. But the moment you go outside, it's like you become something else. Your parents become shocked. They're like, in the house, this child doesn't speak, but then out there, he speaks. And then they're like, oh, okay, at least he got that confidence in him. We doubted him about that, and I think also how parents raise the kid indoors, and how it works, how he wakes up, how he takes care of his room, does he do the dishes, does he, all these little things, they contribute to who they actually get to become as they grow up, and yeah, that's what, makes a person, and also I heard this saying that, the moment you have siblings, and whether you're the eldest or the youngest, well, you get to have a gist, well, kind of a scope of how to handle outdoor human behaviors. Like when you have siblings and you're the youngest and you get bullied, well, it depends on whether you're gonna take it or stand up for yourself. So you're given the opportunity to make a choice. But then compared to when you're experiencing bullying for the first time, well, not on a critical level, but then let's just say you're being picked on, and you feel small, and you have a choice. You are experiencing this from somebody from your bloodline. So it kind of will make things easy for you to stand up for yourself compared to somebody from outdoors, and yeah, you don't know what they're capable of. So when you have siblings, you know how to handle certain instances, and you know how to behave and how to respect other kids. Let's say that, and you get to see it, with other kids, that like, no, I'm not the only child, I'm the eldest, and you get to realize that some know how to treat people with respect. Some, they get to think that everybody outside is their little sibling and they can pick on them because they can. That's what they are used to. Also parents add flavor to this, of how somebody is, how they influence somebody to grow up to be, so this foundation, why this foundation? Why are you telling us about what we already know, Dom? But I just have to. It's the foundation of everything. It's the foundation to having a roommate. You don't know where they come from, number one. Number two, you just know that maybe you guys are, he's a colleague. If he's not a colleague, he's working for another company. If not, they are your roommate because they are a student and they need accommodation. So you don't have control over what type of roommate you get to have. When I say you don't have control, I'm saying that you don't have control over the type of person they are. it's a surprise. You're like, oh dang man, I didn't know that this person was like this. And also when you look at the parents, I think this is the biggest deception. I remember when I got my first roommate, like, okay, back in college I lived in a commune, so like it was 3 rooms, ne? And then I was sharing a room with a guy. The guy came with his father, and then I was like, oh, this guy is actually a chill dude, man, he's chilled. But then coming with parents doesn't actually mean it's a green flag. Bro, parents are the biggest deception. Because when I feel like parents are the biggest deception, because have you ever went with your parent in public and then they get to show you a different side that you have never seen before? Then you're like, oh dang, I didn't know that my parent can be this way. He never shares jokes with me. Oh, he can make jokes. Okay, that's cool. So now with me it was like, oh okay, this person is cool. Parent is here. The parent is cool. I am already sensing that his son is also cool. And what a deception, man. Like I don't know how to explain this, but then yeah, welcome to this episode whereby we talk about roommates, roommate chronicles. So my experience. I lived in a commune, like I said. So we were 5 in the house. 2 rooms served 2 guys, and then 1 room was like for you're not sharing. So I was sharing, and sometimes, I won't lie, I kind of disliked sharing, because like it's not the matter of being petty. It's just that I felt like I was being treated as if I'm not existing in that space. Not that my space was being compromised on or disrespected, but I felt disrespected personally, because I mean, the first rule is that when you wake up, you have to greet somebody, and like if your greeting doesn't come out as a greeting, or it feels like it's not worth greeting this person, why would I want to be next to that person? So with my roommate, I'm not gonna name anyone, but it was, can I say, no, terrific is it means that it was good. It was not horrible, but it was not in my favor. I sometimes wish that I could swap roommates, because I got along with everyone in the house except my roommate, because they were weird. For a guy to be acting the way he was acting, I don't know what it was that made him act like that. Let's say we wake up in the morning, I'm a person who wakes up early, I do my push-ups, I open my books, I study and try what I try to do. If he's not awake, I go outside of the bedroom and I study in the lounge. That's fair. I'm respecting his space. And then if he is awake, I'm like, yo man, what's up? Are you good? But then you can tell that he's a bit cold. I don't know why. Maybe, I was like, maybe when he wakes up, he's cold. I was like, bad. Maybe he's cold when he wakes up. Let me leave him. Give him space, I give him space, I do my thing, I study. And by the way, we are doing the same course and we are in the same class, dude. That's how weird it is, bro. So now I'm like, okay, maybe we can have a study pal session, we can teach each other something about our course. Nada. Like literally nada. So now I'm like, okay, he's cold when he wakes up. Fine, cool. Let me study. I study. So we used to walk together to campus. So then when we walked, it was, small talk here, there. Yo, how you doing? Obviously, guys, the first week of us being there, everything was cool. We had a conversation. Everything was cool. We talked with each other. But here's the thing, so in the house, 3 of us were sharing food. So like that means that, every single month somebody has to contribute for the grocery. And I don't have a problem with that, because like it meant that like if we all combine our funds, it means that we get to buy more grocery but for a less price. Everybody gets to save, so everybody is winning. If you don't win this month, you are winning next month. That's how it works, because it's the 3 of us, you understand? So take it as a bit of a stock fail type of thing. Not a stock fail. So dog, well, that's the agreement, everything is flowing, everything is beautiful, like first week, I realized something off, like I think it was 2 weeks in, each of us would take turns to cook. but my roommate never cooked for us. So it was weird. I was like, what the flip? Maybe he's shy. And then there was a time whereby we were eating together. So one of the three of us was like, Sims, boy, yo, Dom, let's go grab some chips, boy, and bread, and then come back and chow. The person I was sharing with brought his friend. It was me, my commune roommate, and my, his friend. So now I'm like, no, man, let me go get my roommate and be like, yo, dog, we're sharing chips and bread. You can pull up and let's chow. That dude is like, I'm coming. I'm like, okay, sharp. Then I told the guys, I'm like, yeah, dog, he said he's coming. Bro, we waited. And I'm like, nah, man, that's sus. I went again. I'm like, yo, bro, are you coming or not? Then he's like, dog, I'm cool. I'm like, bet. I was like, nah, it's nothing much, And then until like there was this other week, it was the weirdest thing ever. So since he didn't cook for us, right? There was a point whereby this dude, like, literally, we eat together because we cooked for us as a group. So then there was this day he didn't eat. But then I was like, nah, maybe he's not, he's not feeling it. Maybe he's not hungry. But then I recall from coming back from class, he said that he's hungry. So, but then I'm like, dog, why isn't he like, he's contributing for the grocery, but why is he not sharing with us? Like, why is he not eating with us? What is happening? I found that a bit weird. I was like, that's weird, man. Like, you contribute for the grocery, but then you like eating alone. Tell us if you're uncomfortable. So the thing about this guy is he was quiet. Like, he never said anything if something was wrong. I would like to intervene this episode by saying, if you're currently enjoying this episode, may you please share it on your socials, as well as share it to people that you think might enjoy it or might find this information valuable. If you are new around here, you can press the follow button and give us a rating if you're on Spotify. If you're on YouTube, ring the bell icon and please subscribe so that you never miss when we release an episode. And back to it. So yeah, we back with it. So with my experience, it was like weird, Then I was like, nah, maybe he's not, in good terms with the other guy who we were sharing with. So it was the three of us, right? So maybe he was not comfortable with the other one. So then I was like, nah, man. But then, when I look back, when I trace back, every single day I would ask myself, I'm like, why is this dude so weird, bro? Like, he acts like a girl. Like, why? No offense, my sister. But then he gave out weird vibes. Even my landlord was like, boy, Dom, there are some things that, like, I also ask myself as a landlord when it comes to him. He's acting like a girl on period pains, man. I don't know why, and just give him space. But then I was like, we are sharing groceries. How do you give him space when, what's happening? Like, we have to commune. We have to come together and think things out. So then there was this 1 month, like, it was the weirdest thing I've ever encountered in my whole life. So basically we were running out of food. Hear me out. So let me take you back. A month before, what actually happened was this. We were buying groceries. And another thing that was a red flag about him, when we went to buy groceries, he never came with us. So it's like he was always a step behind because he was getting his funds on the 25th and we were getting our funds on the 15th. So it means that when we buy groceries, he has it on the easy end because everything is now bought. So all he has to do is just to buy touch-ups, literally, or save money for the next month that on the 15th he compensates for on our behalf. Man, that was not the case, So this guy, on that month, so the month prior, what he did was we bought groceries and everything was just fine and fluid, the fridge is packed with the needs and the wants, everything is fine. On the 25th, what this dude does, he duplicates everything we bought except for relish. Then I'm like, what the flip is going on? Then I asked him, I'm like, dog, didn't you check what we bought? And then he's like, nah, I didn't check. Then I was like, bro, then how do you know what you're eating every single day, bro? Like, bro, when we cook for all of us, and you don't cook for us, by the way. This is all in my mind. I didn't say this to him. I was like, dog, so this guy basically, we can poison him and he wouldn't know because he doesn't even check what's in the flipping cupboards, bro. That's the scariest part. Then I was like, bro, what the heck is happening with this guy, bro? Like, maybe he thinks that we are his maids or something, and I was like, bro, this sucks, man. I don't have time for this. It's a bit childish and it's not for me, it is not for me. And I decided to, as much as he was my roommate, I decided to just leave him to it. So he duplicated everything except for relish. Then there was this time, so basically he was under the, student financial aid thing. This month was the hardest month of my whole entire life. Well, it's on the short list, it's in the top tens, and it is I indirectly fasted my way out of college, So this is what happened. Since he duplicated everything, this dude, when his financial aid funds kicked in, that's when I realized that nah, man, this sharing thing is not working. When it comes to him, I don't mind sharing with the other guy because we get along. He was like my brother because he's the first person that I met who was a student when I went to that province, And then I was like, oh, this guy's a student. We study at the same place. Yeah, he's doing a different phase of engineering. So I was like, so basically he's my brother. He knows everything in and out, Then I'm like, nah, man, I called a meeting. I was like, guys, this sharing thing is not working for me because, like, it seems like we are not cooperating with one another. Well, 2 out of 3 are cooperating. So, like, what's the point of this? And I'm uncomfortable about it. So, I'm gonna step away. They're like, Joe, yeah, I'm also stepping away. Even the guy who was quiet, he's like, Joe, I'm stepping away. I'm like, okay, bad. You know what happens? Now, after this whole split up, there was this day when I don't know if I cooked or my brother, let's call him my brother, or my brother cooked, So there was relish. And by the way, this was the last relish. So basically we have baraking bupi buteng. Bupi is like what do we call it, bro? Maize meal is there, ne? Rice is there. So now the problem is that there's no relish. So this is what happens, ne? This dude, my roommate, what he does with the last pieces, I don't know what he did with it. I'm speculating that he hid it. And then while we were at campus, for some reason, it's like that's when he cooked the final relish. I'm speculating, by the way. I think he cooked the final relish for himself. And by the way, there were 3 pieces, And then I'm like, dang, man, I remember coming back from school, and then I went to my, my brother. I'm like, hey, boy, since we split up, how are we gonna share the remaining meal? We opened the freezer. There's nothing, bro. I'm like, damn. This dude not finished our food. Okay, yeah, he finished our food as a group because, he has the right. But then, like, he didn't buy it necessarily because he duplicated everything except for the relish. So then I'm like, nah, man, what's going on here? I'm like, let me keep quiet. I vie to, the girls' dorms, and then I'm like, I'm gonna check on the girls. But then there was this, I don't know, there was something telling me that, like, dude, that piece that you were looking for, it's in this house. I'm like, dude, how would it be in this commune? How? I left it. Then for some reason, I remember going to, like, my room. And when I got to my room, that dude was chowing, bro. And when you eat like you are a dog, bro, like you're like, it's like you hadn't eaten for months. That dude was chowing, bro. And then when I gloves the plate, dude, it's chicken bones. I'm like, dog, that was the last 3 meals. For real. I'm like, damn. This dude literally, I was like, boy, as in, I'm a guy. So I let it slide. I was like, dude, it's like that. Let it be like that. If it's like that, let it be like that. It's cool. Manja, I was like, nah, man, this is so wrong. Like, this dude basically, like, it's kind of like, it's not a scam. He has the right to do it, but why didn't he tell us that he's gonna take the last meal for himself? Why does he have to hide himself? So I was like, dang. And the thing that I didn't like about my roommate the most is that he ate in the bedroom. Like, so basically there would be a stench in the room. Like, basically I'm from class And like for some reason our relationship was just weird, because also our classmates, they're like, you guys share the same room, but you guys don't show that energy in class. Like, what's happening? There was this one instance whereby, my friend came over. He's like, he was my classmate as well. He's like, hey dog, you share a room with this guy. Hey, what's up? Why didn't y'all? And then on the way, when I was accompanying my friend back home, he's like, man, Dom, the weirdest thing is that you and him are roommates, but I can sense a bit of tension between the two of you. What's happening? And then I'm like, bro, I'm sensing it as well, but I'm not the, oh shoot, sorry about that, guys. I'm not the problem. That's what I know for sure. I'm not the problem. I'm the most chillest guy ever, bro. Like, if I have a problem with something, I tell you. But then if I'm not the problem and you're the problem, you have to know what the problem is. I'm not gonna confront you, because we are all grown adults and we are supposed to talk about these things. And for the fact that he's a guy and he's acting like a girl, bro, that finished my spirit, bro. I was like, nah, I don't have time for this, man. I rather, keep quiet. And I told my landlord that I'm uncomfortable with this situation. Please make a plan. Make sure that you get me another roommate, because I cannot be moving out when I'm not the problem. So then I was like, nah, boy, you know what? It's fine. Let me keep quiet. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna, tolerate any of it or give it attention. So now there was this instance, by the way, the grocery is finished, bro. Like, I remember this. There was a cup of maize meal, there was a cup of rice, and then there was no relish, bro. So basically what happened was, me and my brother, I was like, hey bro, there's no meat, dog, there's no food. What's the plan? He's like, hey boy, I tried asking my family members for money. Dololo. And by the way, guys, we have already been like, bro, we were in a stranded position. And then I'm like, hey dog, I tried my side. My mom was like, hey man, Simpiwe, I sent you money. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, why do I have to send you money again? What's happening? Did you guys drink the money? What happened? I was like, no, there was a complication. And then she didn't send the money at all. And then I'm like, damn. So basically, bro, I starved my way through the last month of tertiary. Like, not the whole month, because luckily there was a group of guys that always were grooving. So I had to somehow, but again, blend into the groove moment just to take the food. I had to. Also my brother did the same thing, because there was no food, bro. And this is the most disrespectful thing my roommate did. This dude calls me, by the way. He calls me. He's like, yo, Dom, can you please come and help me? I have luggage. Can you please help me, carry it to the room? I'm like, where are you? He gives me the address. I'm like, okay, bet, I'm pulling up. I don't have a problem. Dude, I pull up. This dude bought, I don't know if it was the whole market sale of grocery. Bruh. And by the way, I hadn't eaten a decent meal in like days, you man. So I'm like, dang, this dude, I'm like, man, let me leave it. So I know, like, that grocery was so much, and then I thought like maybe he was compensating for what he did to us. Dude, I'm carrying the bags. There's no conversation between the two of us. I'm like carrying it, I'm helping him. When we get to the room, this dude, here's what he does. His grocery was so much that it couldn't fill it could fill both cupboards. And by the way, we were 5 in the house, so we had to make space for each other. And I'm like, okay, dang man, cool. His grocery was so much, dude, that he had to take it to our room, and he had to put it in the wardrobe. And I'm like, damn, this homie's stacked up. And then I don't know who told me. They told me that his financial aid kicked in. And I'm like, damn, man, you living fresh, huh? You living fresh. Hey, that dude, boy. I didn't expect anything from him. But then, from a logical standpoint, I thought that he was gonna compensate us. That dude gave us nothing, bro. That dude, so basically how I felt, I felt disrespected on another level, because I helped you with the groceries. I'm not trying to feel or sound entitled, but I helped you with the groceries. And between me and you, we know the history between what you did, sorry about that, guys. I know the history of what you did. We all know what you did, boy. You finished the grocery and then you bounced. You didn't finish the grocery. You depleted the relish, boy. So what is the hardest thing for you to take out, like even less than 200 rand, and be like, boy, here's for the meat that I kind of chowed, and for the past months, be a guy, bro. So now this dude, bro, there was a day whereby I was famished, bro, and I think I was done writing an exam. I come to my room, bro, like when you enter a house and like you smell food and you hadn't eaten for days, and I was like, damn, that's some good tasting food. But then there was just hunger. I get there and then I get into my room. My roommate is chowing. He's eating, bro. And like he's not eating what he's cooking. That dude was eating pizza. So then I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, you know what? It's cool, bro. So I had to study that day, and I'm like, I'm studying in my room and he's eating. And then I'm like, nah, dog, this is uncomfortable for me. Let me bounce. I bounce. I leave. As soon as I leave, I'm like, nah, man, this dude is being a girl, bro. What the flip? I'm like, you know what? I don't expect anything from him. Let me bounce. Luckily, my mom sent money, a few days later. And then me and my brother were like, nah, boy, let's go cop us some cheap meat and a few things that are missing that we need, because we hadn't eaten a decent meal for days. Fact, no problem. We leave. We get what's needed. We come back. And then, dude, there was just weird energy between all of us, because this dude was just weird, overly weird. Every time when he saw us, he acted weird, like as in like he would give us a cold shoulder. When we greet him, it would be like ngati, like we harassed him or something. I don't know, and I could see this with how he treated my other roommates, the other two that I never mentioned. He treated them like as if, it's a normal thing. He was a guy with them. But then when it came to me and my brother, it was like, dog, these dudes, like, they hurt me or something, or they mugged me or something. I didn't understand it. I was like, this dude is being weird, man. I don't know if it's favoritism or wherever he's getting this from, but he should keep it at a distance, because I lost respect for him. And seeing him in my sight, it was like, bro, like you bringing like all the weird, like I'm a person who doesn't forget, but I do forgive you. But forgetting, it takes a minute, and I'm like, damn, man, this homie, it's like that, huh? It's like that. Cool, bad. Bad. Then there's this thing, with roommates, all of us, we are guilty for it. However, I was the one solving the problem and I didn't like it. As all of us who were in commune, there was a point whereby, the dishes, man, for some reason, like somebody would cook and then they wouldn't wash the pot. And then if you wanted to cook, you had to wash it, And with me, that was not the case. If I was done cooking, I made sure I cleared the pots and then made room for other people to make food. But then this was something that made me, it ticked me off, man. Every single day when I wake up in the morning, you find a mountain of dishes. And then like, I called the meeting. I was like, guys, what's happening, bro? Let's talk about this dishes thing. And then we came to a conclusion. Everything was fine. With my roommate, though, this was the most disgusting thing. It was during the year. This is when like I was so uncomfortable in his space that I had to like, man, I had to lie to people about where I stay, and my education was not going well, not because of him, but I would say that he had a little bit of influence to it, And then I was like, okay, bad, let me vibe. I had a friend who was a female. So then on this day, he was like, no, Sims, man, you can pull up. You're a chilled guy. And I met her through my brother. She's like, you can pull up, let's chill. I have food. And you also just bought groceries. So let's mix, man. Chill at my crib. I don't mind. I was like, bad, man. Thanks for welcoming me. Everything was chilled. We talked, we played video games. Yeah, she was a gamer, by the way, and that was the coolest thing ever. Fast forward, bro, like, and then I went back to my rest. When I went back, bro, the house was such a mess, bro. By the way, the people who are living there, it's my roommate only, because like some of the guys, they went back home. So basically with us, during the year when we open, the other people are closed. So basically he was the only one living in that commune. Bro, the house was such a mess. There was this weird stench. There were dishes, food that was rotten in the pot. Bro, I left, bro. I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this, bro. I told him, okay, I didn't tell anything to my landlord. I left. I told my friend, her name is Vanessa, by the way. I was like, yo, Vanessa, bro, let's leave, And like, I could tell that this dude doesn't like Vanessa because of how he treated her. She came in my room and then he didn't even like, greet her properly. It was like a cold shoulder type of thing. And then I was like, oh, so basically anybody who knows me, he's gonna treat them the way he treats me. I was like, you know what, man, screw you, man. I packed my things, I left. But then it was a pack my things, I left. But then in another way, I didn't give him signs that I don't stay here anymore. And then I was like, dog, let me vie, like. So then I went to Vanessa's place. It was a healthy environment for me to study and push my work. And I was able to become successful, And then, yeah, Vanessa, to this day, bro, I owe her a lot, bro. Like, that's a debt that needs to be paid. And shout out to her, bro. Bad. Then there was this time and we were closed. And I recall when I came back from home, going back to res. Bruh, for some reason, when I left my res, going home, my bed was done. My clothes were packed. Everything was done. When I arrived, it seemed like as if somebody was sleeping in my bed and they were opening my side of the closet. Bro, I reported this to the landlord. I was like, bro, please make a plan. I am not comfortable under this man's like shadow, bro. Like, why the flip do I have to share a room with somebody who doesn't have manners, bro? Then my landlord was like, hey, Simpiwe, I'll try to make a plan, bro. And I see you as my own child and I understand what you're talking about. I have been to your commune and I'm not proud, And I was like, yeah, thank you. And then she tried her best, but then there was nothing, And then I made the decision whereby I moved out because like for my own sake and peace, I didn't want to start a fight because the moment I do, trust me, bro, like it doesn't end well. So now I left, and that was the best decision I've ever made in college, man. One of the best decisions. Leaving that place. That dude was just disrespectful on another level. And it wasn't direct disrespect. It was indirect. Like, it's like when you're not there, he does things, And then when you come back, you're like, oh, you moved this. Oh, I see your moves. I'm gonna keep quiet, bro. And then there was this one time, and like, it was a weird one. This is a fun one, I kind of enjoyed it. It brought satisfaction to my heart, but I felt evil in a way. Okay, so basically this guy, he bought booze for himself, And then I was like, oh, okay, you bought booze for yourself. That's cool. We left it. So we hosted a party, And then somebody drank his alcohol. And like the next morning, he was so pissed, bro. He said that, bro, who drank my alcohol? Who drank my alcohol? Dog, I just looked at him. I was like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. And yeah, I don't give a flip. So you're on your own, And then, yeah, and then one of the most things that this is something that I could tell that he's not okay, as a roommate. This dude hosted a flipping FIFA tournament the day before the exams. Bro, I was so annoyed. And it was raining on that day, And I was in turmoil. Like, when it came to my education, I was in turmoil. I was trying to push, And this guy hosted a whole flipping FIFA tournament. By the way, there's loud music. There's flipping FIFA audio coming from the, there's audio coming out of nowhere. The windows are vibrating from the bass. I was like, you know what, bro? I'm leaving. I called a friend. I'm like, bro, I need a good place to study. Can I pull over? He's like, yeah, you can pull over. I left. And then one of the thing that ticked me off is that one of his friends was like, bro, after the whole exam thing, he's like, bro, hey, you passed, you qualified for the final. Bro, how do you study in a rakas? I was like, bro, that's so disrespectful. Like, you came in my commune and then you hosted. And then, I'm supposed to be cool with it. But then I was like, dog, I push. I just brushed it off to the side. I was like, you know what, cool. And then, yeah, bro, it was just weird, man. You have a classmate who's your roommate, but at the same time, they are just not a horrible person, but they are indirectly disrespectful. Man, I hated that every single day, bro. Waking up to that, I was like, nah. Then there was this time where I asked him, I was like, bro, are you scared of me? Are you uncomfortable next to me? He said like, nah, I'm not. Then I was like, okay, then why are you being cold? Why are you being such a person? He's like, dog, he froze. He started fidgeting. I left him. I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. And then the day I moved out, many people didn't know I moved out. They just felt it. They're like, nah, man, where's Dom, bro? Like, where's Dom? We don't get checked anymore. We don't get any of that special treatment. What's happening? And then I was like, you know what? I'm gone. So at campus, people used to see me. They're like, hey, bro, you moved out, dog. Where do you stay now? I was like, nah, bro, I stay the other side of town. So yeah, I don't have time for, And then they're like, why did you move out? I was like, nah, I don't want to talk about it. And yeah, that was my roommate experience, guys. It was painful, man. Like internally, there was pain because like I don't like beefing with people, especially somebody that you're sharing a room with. You don't know what the flip this dude can do to you while you are sleeping. Things happen. People come from different backgrounds. You don't know what the flip. You don't know what's happening. So then I decided, for my own peace sake, I'm leaving. And my landlord was kind of disappointed that I left because, like, I was never a problem. I was just that kid trying to make it and push their studies and make sure that they come out well. Boy, that was not the case. And yeah, that's my roommate experience. And yeah, man, before I close this, I have questions for you guys as the listener. The first question is, what do you wish you knew about your roommate before you or they moved in? The second question is, what is the worst thing you have done to your roommate? And then the third question is, what is the worst thing your roommate has done to you? The fourth is, what boundaries do you wish you had with your roommate? And the next one is it better for you to have the right to choose a roommate, or you prefer surprises? And then the last one is, name one thing you would change about your roommate. So guys, we have a sent in text from our girl, Umpile. Shout out. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. And yeah, you know how it is, my sister. Keep things 24 and better than before. And yes, sir. So for the first question, which was, what do you wish you knew about your roommate before they or you moved in? So Umpile has to say the following. I'm not gonna lie, but my roommate was actually decent. Just I grew up having my own space, own room since grade 2. And it was something out of the ordinary for me to share my space. Second question, would you want a better roommate? Please provide a reason why. The first month, we had an unserious conversation about quote-unquote requirements. I am allergic to peanut butter and she shouldn't eat in the room because even the smell is deadly for me. Second, Pilchard's tin fish has a very sharp smell. If one of us is around, we should eat it outside the room. Thirdly, windows should be closed by 6 due to mosquitoes. Or when she says 6, guys, she means like 6 p.m. The only problem I had with her were phone calls and leaving the lights on in the morning while I was sleeping. Around June, I stopped talking to her. Second semester, we were not on talking terms at all. And some of the rules were violated because we didn't really care for one another anymore. What boundaries do you wish you had with your roommate? Boundaries. Going further, I would like a roommate that is studying engineering or a demanding course that requires daily studying. No friends during weekday. Didn't struggle with visitors with her. On 2 occasions, I wasn't informed that the friend will sleep over. Once she left me with her friend and she went to sleep in another rest. I called her to tell her friend to leave, but she kept on telling the friend she will come back, knowing very well she's not. What is the worst thing you have done to your roommate? The worst thing. I gave my roommate silent treatment the whole second semester, and that really broke her heart because she didn't know what the problem is and there was awkwardness. She used to complain to her boyfriend over the phone that it's no longer pleasant and was thinking of transferring schools. Mpila, I'm concerned. You guys are dangerous. Name one thing you would change about your roommate. Phone calls were very loud. A voice call on speaker. Very lengthy daily, every day without a miss. In the res, she was known for her lengthy, loud phone calls. I guess that's why she only answered them in the room. It would have been nice if she answered them outside the room when I was sleeping, and use earpiece when I'm sleeping at night. Would it be better for you to choose a roommate, or do you prefer surprises? I prefer surprises cause expecting hurts and it's quite disappointing. You will never know someone until you live with them. I still don't know why there are sharing rooms in this day and age. There are no set rules from rest management and no one there to make sure they are followed, and no consequences for disobeying. And then she gets to say here, it's very difficult for one to see their faults, but these are my faults. Silent treatment that really hurt her. She went home for 3 weeks thinking it was gonna make any difference. I like a dark room. Black men said don't like that. It's considered bad luck. Yeah, well, my girl, you know, it depends. Like, for example, I don't like it when people switch on the light during the day. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, and then the next point, she says, I sleep very early and I kinda expected her to turn the lights off. And then the next thing is that I was always indoors and maybe she couldn't bring visitors over. She had experience with 2 roommates and she says I was the best roommate. In the residence, there were two houses and 3 bachelor flats, 1 room shared. This girl came first and chose a bachelor flat, knowing her personality. She has her own kitchen, own TV with a couch, and would come to our house every day without a miss unless she was studying. She would use our kitchen delaying space, our TV for music. She would use our kitchen delaying space, our TV for music without considering the noise level. She would invite her friends to our house instead of her flat. And she would come inside of our rooms without knocking, irregardless of how many times we reprimand her. She was a shocker for me, raised completely different. Bro, that's crazy. That is crazy. Like, okay, I'm gonna like wait, let's start here. Umpile, my girl, this is crazy. I think you guys had it was not as bad as it sounds. It's just that I don't know, if I wouldn't say it's a battle of ego or maybe the lack of confidence, but if you guys talked about it, and then maybe had short talks, small talks, I think that would have been a better experience for her because you caused the damage. So, and you unintentionally or intentionally caused the damage. And yeah, but then this is so cool. However, the one with the bachelor, yeah, she's raised different. I think like it was one of those instances of like she wished she shared with you guys, or maybe she got bored of her own bachelor flat because I want to be with other students, let's party. But then why didn't she host in her bachelor flat? That's better. Or she could have invited you guys to her bachelor because why not? You guys are girls, but hey, girls are complicated. And Umpile, thank you for sending in your opinion, for it matters to us on the podcast. Okay, now hopping on to the voice notes.
I'm Kagalo Mawoya. Do you wish you knew about your roommates before you or they moved in? In a way, yes, but at the same time, I didn't want to know my roommate personally it would have been nice to know about her or know who she is, where she comes from before I moved in with her, but not on a friendship level. I understand. So that would have been nice. I wish I did. Would you want a better roommate? Please provide your reason as to why. Honestly, yes, because my roommate that I had in first year, she was not an academic weapon, and I needed an academic warrior to be staying with me. You know, just to be motivated when I study here and there. Like every time I'll be studying or whatever, she'll be there sleeping. Like we did not study the same thing, different faculties. She studied something in music, I studied something in the science faculty. So it was very difficult because when, like, honestly, it was just not a nice experience. What is the worst thing you have done to your roommate? Well, it's not what I have done, but it's what my friends have done. So my roommate didn't like my friends because they would come and visit me in my room and make noise. So every time they leave, she would tell me that please tell your friends, Hori, they're not my friends. We should respect each other, things like that. So I would tell her that I tried talking to them, but they said if you have something to say, you should tell them directly, because they were very stubborn. So what happened was after I told my friends, telling them that my roommate said you guys are always making noise and stuff like that, they would literally come in my room every single night at around 4 a.m. and come banging on my door. Even when I was not there, just to provoke her. So I honestly feel bad about that. But yeah. What boundaries do you wish you had with your roommate? Definitely visitors and sleeping hours. I wish we had. Oh, and maybe, yeah, when the lights go on and off, like the time. I feel like we should have had a schedule of when our friends can come because she had guy friends, I had girlfriends, but I also had guy friends. But because we're both girls, it's not always comfortable to have guys visiting your room here and there. I feel like we should have set boundaries around that, such as letting each other know before your guy friend comes and then asking for my permission, things like that. And also what time we both sleep because sometimes I'll be studying, like lights will be on, they'll be disturbing her. Or sometimes she would want to cook in the AMs while I'm sleeping with the lights on. That was very disturbing. So I feel like we should have set boundaries around that. Oh, what is the worst thing my roommate has done to me? Oh no, I remember her TikTok. I feel like she was really provoking me. Hey, I feel like my roommates didn't like me, but low key, every single night when I'm studying or just sitting on my bed or anything, she would watch TikTok full blast on purpose. I'll ask her every time, "Can you lower the volume?" She'll lower it. After a few minutes, it's full blast. But because of my prettiness, my phone had a louder speaker. Like a few times when she would fall asleep, I'll purposely watch TikTok loudspeaker. I feel like that's when things started going wrong. But it was towards the end of the year. So it wasn't that bad. But her TikTok annoyed me so much. Also, when she studies for exams or practicals or whatever it is, it's singing. And it's not that regular singing, it's those soprano songs and stuff. So it was very annoying when she had to practice in the room because, girl, they have a music room at rest for a reason. What I will change about my roommate is honestly the course she was studying, or at least get her more friends. She was a loner that was always in the room. She had one friend, but it was a guy friend that came there every day. If I don't change like her antisocialness, I would definitely change like the course she was studying. Honestly, I needed someone who studied something that needed to be studied, like I needed her to be on the chair because that kind of motivates me as a person as well. You know, when I see my roommate studying, I will say, you know what, let me study as well. But she was always sleeping, but she was in her final year and stuff, so it was not easy at all. Would it be better for you to choose a roommate or do you prefer surprises? Honestly, I would choose my roommates, but as long as they were not my friend or anything like that, I do not want to befriend my roommate, share groceries with anyone. Mara, I think it would have been nice if I got a chance to choose my roommates, you know? If there was like a little criteria I can choose from. Yes.
With that one, hey, I had the same situation, man. Like, dog, why? Well, with me, I would say that, well, it was weird, man. Like, with me, my roommate was always in the room. He ate there, slept, woke up, bathed in there. So, like, yeah, it was, dude, like the whole room, like, there was this stench. So I was like, dude, I ain't no way, boy. First thing in the morning when I wake up, I always open the windows, boy. But except for winter time, because yeah, it's cold, guys. And hey, you guys seem to have it better, man. Like, I don't know, but then it sounds better. Like, it sounds lenient. It's just small problems, dude. But then hey, Artwan, we're not the same. We all have different experiences. And the next input comes from Lumka. Shout out to her. And yeah, let me play it and roll it out for you guys.
First roommate because I changed. Okay, so first question. What do you wish you knew about your roommate before you or they moved in? Okay, so I'm going to talk about my first roommate because I changed roommates. So the first one, which was a problematic one, um, I wish that I knew that she was the envious type. She was the type that wanted everything to be about her. Um, she was the one who, like, everything had to happen to her. Like, she had to, if we were buying clothes, for instance, and then she had to get higher things than mine. I don't know how to explain it, but she was envious to a point that whatever I do, she has to do it times two for her to make it to make herself feel better. I guess that she's bigger than me or what, I don't know, but I wish I knew that she was the envious type. And number two, I also wish I knew that um she was so jealous. Ugh, jealous to the point that she couldn't even hide it anymore. So yeah, that's that's the only thing I wish I knew before I moved in with her. She was like, yo, the worst roommate ever. But yeah. Second question, would you want a better roommate? Yes. Okay, at that instant when I had my first roommate, yes, I wanted a better roommate. But my current one, it's she's a sweetheart. So yeah. So I'm going to talk um in a sense as if I'm still staying with the first one. So would I have wanted a better roommate? Definitely yes. Because I started getting uncomfortable around her. Um she her envy for towards me became so much that she started ruining my things bit by bit. Like I couldn't have nice things because she didn't have them, you know. So yeah. Third question. What is the worst thing you have done to your roommate? What's the worst thing I've done to her? It's not really worst thing. I broke her heel. She had a heel and I broke it because um she bleached my sneaker because as I said she was envious. She didn't have the sneaker and apparently she wanted the sneaker for so long that she bleached it because she didn't have it. Um let's answer the next question. what is the worst thing she has ever done to me? Is that she bleached my sneaker. Okay. Following question: what boundaries do you wish you had with your roommate? The first things first, I wish that I hadn't gotten close to her. Like from straight point, like from the onward we met, I wish like I was strict enough to tell her that we're not friends, we're just roommates, and not gotten close to her like that. Like, first year you want your roommate to be your best friend slash your sister. You share everything from food to whatnot to whatnot. The boundary I wish I had with her is that what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. We're just here to stay together. We're not friends. And yeah, that's the boundary I wish I had with her, that she mustn't get too comfortable around my things. Privacy is key. Name one thing you would change about your roommate. Okay, the current one. Now I'm talking about the current one. Nothing really. I don't wish to change anything about her. She's just perfect. Respect each other like that, but we are technically sisters because it's been like what 2 years I've known her, so I'm comfortable around her like that. Hore. I'm telling Lilingi, I can tell her abo. So there's nothing I could change about her, the current one. But the first one, yeah, man. The only thing I could change about her is to make her a better person. The first one. So yes. The last question: would it be better for you to choose a roommate? Yes, definitely. Oh, definitely yes. Yo, yes. I would do anything to choose a roommate instead of being surprised. Because if I knew, Hore, that girl, my first roommate, would have been my roommate, I wouldn't have chose her. Because, yeah, she made my first year pets. But the one I'm currently with, I wouldn't change her for anything. Um, I would choose her. And the first one, yeah, I wish I could have chose her not to stay with me, but if I had a choice, I would choose her instead of Hore. Give a surprised. Wa tlhaloganya? So yes, I don't know if I answered the questions as you guys wanted me to answer them, but yes. Thank you for featuring me. Pinch me, Kadlal. Listeners, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Shout out to our girl Lumka for shout out to the L girl. You know, just that I feel like I'm pronouncing her name wrong, dude. Lumka. Shout out to her, and yeah, um, I don't know what it is, ne, but ever since I went to tertiary, I learned that girls, they hate each other. They cannot coexist. But then if you find girls who can cohabit, what is the right word? But what is that word? Girls who can not fat and said, no, let's just say girls who cohabit. That is something that you barely see. You rarely see it. Girls, for some reason, from groups to classmates to workplace, females, girls, women, they always have beef, and it's the weirdest thing ever. But then I'm happy for you, girl, for having a better, thank you for, I'm proud of you for having a better roommate. Shout out to her, send my greetings to her. And yeah, thank you for telling the listeners that they should subscribe and follow us. Yeah, listen to the girl. Thank you to everybody that sent in their opinions, for their opinions matter. And shout out to everybody that pulled up for this podcast, including you as the listener. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to those who sent in their VNs. And yeah, man, shout out to y'all, man. B24 be better than B4, and yeah, catch you guys on the next one, and peace out.